The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Hot Takes with me, hosted by the Murph Man, where life gets real and the mic stays hot. That's right, your favorite experience can, yeah. That's smart and funny guy. From classroom chalk to comedy clubs, Murph Man breaks it down with brainy thuds. Parenting stress or college mess, he's been through it all, no need to guess. Insights are sharp and data's tight. Rants are ready and the jokes are light. Turn it up, this show is hot. Honest, funny, maybe loud. Never scared to stand out proud. When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The rant's already and the jokes are light. Real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, laugh a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Murph Man to start the show.
In a world drowning in data and dread, two men rise, not as saviors or scholars, but as the Murph Man and Connor. Witness their journey as they navigate the treacherous waters of, well, whatever they feel like talking about. Prepare for Hot Takes with the Murph Man, where opinions are strong, facts are optional, and personal experiences are the name of the game. They're not experts, but they play them on this show. Their passion isn't a performance, it's who they are. And sometimes that authenticity means a little adult language might slip out. They apologize for that ahead of time, promising to keep it minimal, but their reactions are always genuine. Now grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy the show. Here are the Murph Man and Connor.
Hey, Connor, how we doing today?
Doing good. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Guess what? We got some good news here.
What's the good news?
We got picked up by stream915.com.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be having all our premium content on there, all of our Colores del Desierto, all our special behind the scenes events, all of that stuff is going to be on the stream channel. I'll be definitely giving you guys out that information soon. But right now, I just wanted to share that with you, that we do have a channel on Stream915, and it's going to be coming up in October. And once it goes live, I'll put all the information out here.
Oh, wow.
You know, and on Sunday, I'm doing
tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tomorrow, yeah. It's tomorrow already. I'm going to be doing the pregame show for the Borderland Roller Derby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to interviewing the coaches and the captains. So, yeah, so that's going to be fun. That's going to be some fun stuff. And then a few events coming up in October and November that we're going to be doing. So, and in December, hopefully, knock on some wood, right? We can make it to Colorado and join the basket giveaway for the veterans that MBR Radio does. That'd be pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, meet Brandon Stokely and go meet the guys over there and everything. That's just gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's the latest news. We got a lot going on, and I want to welcome you all to the show. Anything else going on in your life this week? Anything interesting?
Today or this week was just boring, honestly.
Until last night when Virginia beat Florida State.
That was the
told you they
shock.
would beat them. Not to
Okay.
me. Not to me. I told you they would lose.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, Florida State's 3-0. They're undefeated. I'm like, yeah. But I still think and they did. I was right. Say
Yeah.
it. Say it.
You were right.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. What else is going on this week? Anything in particular?
Not really, no.
Oh, well, apparently you don't read your emails.
What? What emails? From what?
Guess what opened up?
What opened up?
FAFSA.
Oh, wow.
FAFSA opened early this year, you guys. I can't believe that. It's usually supposed to be October 1st, but sometimes it delays till October late 27th and stuff, But this year they opened early. So what does that mean for you?
To fill out the forms quickly? I don't know.
Well, what does FAFSA mean to you?
Financial aid.
Yes, that's it. Financial aid. That's the most important thing right now, is that financial aid. We got to understand that we got to apply for grants, Pell grants, or I guess it's going to be called Trump grants now. I don't know. That's the latest thing, right? I was saying about that yesterday.
Mhm.
But yeah, FAFSA's open. We can apply for financial aid. And the sooner you enter into FAFSA website and you enroll and sign up and do all the requirements and everything and complete your application, you can actually be considered for grants and everything sooner than other people, because there's some that close earlier than others. And the sooner you get in, the better chances you have of getting some of that money. And then, of course, UTEP opens up their scholarship page as well, right? I don't know when that opens or anything, but that's definitely something we need to keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to FAFSA real quick before we get started with today's episode. FAFSA is financial aid application, and to be eligible, you have to be a U.S. citizen, have a high school diploma or about to graduate with one, have a social security number, eligible program enrollment, be enrolled in or accepted, enrolled in an eligible degree or certificate program. What does that mean? You have to be in college. You can't just apply for the money and go nowhere, right? You have to be in a college, enrolled somewhere. And you have to have good academic progress, which I hope you've been doing pretty good. You had some tests this week, right?
Yeah.
Chemistry and pre-cal. How did that go?
I haven't gotten my scores yet.
Haven't gotten your scores yet?
I think I did decent.
It was funny. You told me about that one guy.
What one guy?
That where the teacher said no notes and he wrote notes on his arm. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, the teacher said no paper notes, and this guy's like, I'm gonna write notes on my arm and my hand. And I'm like, Jesus, man, kids nowadays, what can we say? Anyway, hopefully you did good on those tests. Also, you cannot be defaulted on any loans. So if you get a loan, you have to make sure you're paying it back, you guys. Financial literacy is so important in today's society. You need to make sure you understand your money, where it's coming from, where it's going. Connor got his financial aid payments and everything, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I can finally stay at the UTEP and eat, or you're paying for gas, which I appreciate because you're the one using the car mostly, right? Mm-hmm. Using the things for transportation, for housing, those kinds of things. How fast has that money gone?
Gone.
It's not gone, but I mean,
almost gone.
Yeah, it's almost gone, right? Yeah, he had to buy his books. He had to buy a lab coat, which I'm like, what are you didn't buy a lab coat for?
Well, I have to.
I know, but
we're
I'm
doing
saying
hands-on stuff. We have to buy it. It's not part of it's not like they don't have lab coats.
In my day, we had the goggles. That's all we had. Maybe gloves if we were lucky.
Yeah, we have to get those also.
You have to buy all that?
I think, yeah.
Oh man, safety glasses, goggles. Yeah. And if you don't know what you need for the class, where can you find out?
On the bookstore.
A syllabus.
Well,
That was last week. syllabus. The syllabus is all the information that students could ever want for any teacher. Make sure you guys read your syllabus. Now, so you got to buy equipment and everything, but you can't be defaulting on any loans. That means if you get money, and here's an example, okay? If the college sends you money just arbitrarily, right? And you get money in your account, don't just go spend it. Go check your financial statements with the college, because there may have been an error or something. They send you money, but you have a balance to pay, and you don't pay it, you can get dropped. And we don't want that, do we? Right? So you guys, when you get money from the college or get a refund from the college, whatever, you just think, oh, it's a refund, I can spend it any way I want. That's not necessarily true, you guys. You want to make sure you get out there, check your statements, and find out if you still owe money to the college, because there's always errors that can happen. Those are very important. And of course, if you're going to be using any federal grants or anything, you got to use them for an educational purpose. You can't just go and, I don't know, what would be an example that would be stupid to buy right now? Go buy a suit for homecoming or something, right? Yeah, that's not educational. Even though you have the money for that, doesn't mean you should spend on stuff like that. Now, gas, transportation, housing, food, all of that is fair game. But make sure you use it for the stuff you need to for your education, because guess what? Next year, you might not qualify. And then what are you going to do?
I don't know.
You're going to get a job and pay for your school?
I don't know.
Well, that's my point.
But that's
Save your money. Listen, save your money. All right. Also, some of the documents you're going to need for FAFSA, so get these together before you apply. Make sure you go to studentaid.gov and create your account if you don't have one already. Find out your parents or they call it contributor information. Your parents or spouses contributor information as dependent students. You want your federal tax information. You want your child support records if that applies to you. You want to find out what assets you have. You also want to include those. Any investments, any untaxed income records, and any alien registration numbers. Now, right now, I don't know if you watched the news, they had this HB1 visa issue come up.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, they enacted a new law that HB1 companies, instead of paying $1,000 per person, are going to have to pay $100,000 to bring them over. An HB1 visa is a student that's coming from another country, coming in here to study or work, I should say. And the company says, this person is a valuable asset to our agency. This person's a valuable asset to our agency. We want you to come work for us. And we have to sponsor you and get your paperwork to be a citizen or resident, right? You lose your job, you get kicked out. Well, they changed that from $1,000 per employee to, and this is still debate. I couldn't find the right answer. It's $100,000 now, but is it $100,000 per person or $100,000 per company? That's still a lot of money, though, right? If you have 100 employees, then you have 100,000. Okay, fine. But if you have to pay 100,000 per, you're looking at millions. And that's just, the company has hired thousands and thousands of people. And when the news broke, it was starting September, whatever it was, 27th, I think. If you were out of the country, you couldn't come back in unless you paid that 100,000. So they showed a video of people that were flying to another country on Arab Emirates. And they get the news that they can't come back to the United States, and everyone's like, hold on, we don't know what the real truth is. I don't know whatever happened to that. The news died. I tried looking for that information before today, and I couldn't get an update that was clear enough. But yeah, so if you have an HB1 visa, you guys want to make sure you fill out all the requirements you have for that. Also, for FAFSA, you might think you make too much money. Well, yes, there are income guidelines, but there's no income cutoff that says you can't apply after this money. What it is, they have this thing called the Student Aid Index, SAI, that the parents are responsible for paying that amount of money. So I think, I don't know what our amount was, right? But it's a couple thousand that we had to pay. And then they say, okay, he's paying this is what leaves the balance, and this is what we're going to give financial aid for. Does that make sense? And then anything, extra, you have to pay for yourself. So that's where the scholarships come in. You get scholarships. You go out there and you apply for scholarships, as many as you can, and you get them so that you can get them going, right? Get the money, because the sooner you get the money, the sooner you can buy the stuff you need, right? A lot of people, and I'm going to ask you this. A lot of people say, don't buy any books until the first week of school because you might not need the ones you buy. Has that happened to you?
No.
No, right? I think YouTube did a really good job. They sent you an email and they said, hey, you need these books for these classes, right? And sure enough. Now, I'm not one for, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to use the word ripping off. But it is illegal to use books that aren't paid for. Is it?
It's illegal to
Use
what?
book. Okay. That's what I'm trying to think. My brain's not thinking straight. There's like LibOrg and all these programs that you can go online and find any book online
And
for
use
free.
it for free.
Yeah, but they don't have permission to have those copies, so that's plagiarized. So sometimes when the teachers, and as a teacher, let me tell you what I've done. You know, you have a book, right? And you have kids come in with these printed books. We have to confiscate those because they're illegal. You know, nowadays it's all digital. We don't know if you're using a copy or not or whatever, right? But it's one of those things you got to be really careful of. You're confused?
A little.
Okay.
What type of books? Like, you got to specify what books you're talking about.
Well, supposedly there's any book that you need in college, except for like labs and stuff. Any book that you need is available on these websites.
Okay.
Okay. You're not supposed to use them because that's plagiarized books. That's illegal. That's unethical, right?
But sometimes they don't know that you're using it.
Yeah. But if they catch you, that's the thing. They probably won't find you, but if they catch you, you could get in trouble, even get expelled. You know, one of the things I think is funny. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about the book "Who Moved My Cheese," right?
Mm-hmm.
That's available online as a video. They made a video, which is pretty cool.
YouTube, yeah.
Excuse me. If you haven't seen Who Moved My Cheese, you guys go check out Who Moved My Cheese. It's a video on YouTube. Spencer Johnson's the author. Love the book. I talk about it all the time. Your cheese moves. You got to move with it. Right now, our cheese is moving. Right, we're getting the channel going, and we're going to start a new segment, an El Paso only segment, Colores del Desierto. We're going to have the El Paso Extra. We have all these different segments coming up that you guys will be able to see soon. But a lot is changing for us. Our cheese has moved, and we got to go out into the maze. But anyway, so I don't know, those videos were made by Spencer Johnson, and they're up on the video, and you can watch them. I hope they're legal.
They are. It's YouTube.
That doesn't mean it's legal.
Yes.
Oh, because they do check for copyright information, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So like, have you ever recorded a video like I did at the fireworks at the Chihuahuas?
No.
Anyway, so I recorded a live video with the fireworks at the Chihuahuas, right, on Facebook, and I was streaming it live, and all of a sudden, when I went back to watch the video, there was no music because it was copyrighted, and I'm like, it's no fun. It's just like you couldn't even hear the pops. So I guess they do check for copyrighted stuff, right? Okay, all right. Anyway, also, when you're applying for FAFSA, going back to this, it's an annual thing you have to apply for. Once you're in, you might say, I'm a sophomore. I don't need to apply for grants and scholarships anymore. Yes, you can apply all the way through your doctorate program, you guys. There's money out there for your students. You got to get out there and get it. Believe me, you can get it. I got one scholarship in my life. Did we talk about this last week?
No, I don't remember.
Where I had so many hours that they offered me the money. Remember?
For that one that no one applied for?
No one applied for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes.
So I've learned since that, apply for every grant that you can. And that's good. That's what you're going to be doing coming up this October, November. Just start applying for grants. Just looking. There's some that apply all year round. All year round you can apply for those grants. But yeah, you want to make sure you get that in there and get your applications in. Make sure you get your state information in if you have a state that has requirements like income tax and whatnot. and make sure you get accredited programs. What does that mean? Well, Connor and I can open up our own college and say, we're going to be doing this. And not pro. Hey, thank you for that comment. Yeah, FAFSA open, it's not being advertised, you guys. It's one of those things where I just found it this week, and make sure you do that. But I appreciate that comment. As far as the application, you got to do it every year. Make sure you do it on time. Keep an eye on it, because sometimes it opens earlier, like this year. Sometimes it opens later, like last year. So it's just one of those things where you got to go, But it's FAFSA is one of those really important things to do, But I think that's enough FAFSA right now. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about it?
So does this mean I have to apply for it like today since it's open?
Well, if you can do it today,
But
you have all your documents
also,
ready.
no? You have to do the parent form also.
Well, you do yours, and then you invite me to do mine. That's how it works.
Okay.
But I think when we come back, we can start this show. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. Was he missing June? Was he thinking back when that picture was snapped? Was he wishing he could hold her? Did he know his life was over? The day that camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. The lines alive there on his face show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
The lines alive there on his face show hard living and show grace. A story told in shades of black. Was he whispering a prayer through that cold and lonesome glare? The day the camera flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash. Wonder what was going on inside the man in black's mind. The day old Marty flashed the last picture of Johnny Cash.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Welcome to Hot Takes. Today we are talking about Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Today's episode is episode 8, The Extracurricular Edge, Why Your Activities Matter to Colleges. Today we're talking about the secret ingredient to a standout college application, extracurriculars. Grades and test scores matter, but they're not the whole story. This episode explores how your activities reveal who you are, what you care about, and how you'll contribute to a college community.
There we go. We've ignited the fuse on today's show. So let's get it started. Extracurricular activities, why are they important? I've said this before and Connor doesn't agree with me. It is what it is. But what's the requirement for high school? Go to college, go to high school, finish your 4 years, and you're done. That's the requirement to get into college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Community college, almost any college will accept you, which is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Then you have the distinguished graduate. You get 26.5 hours here in Texas, and you get a certain designation with that. You also have endorsements, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have extracurricular activities, which is what? Football, clubs, events, anything that's outside of your normal school event is considered an extracurricular activity. So why is that important? Well, it makes you stand out from other people. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, to get things started, let's jump right into the question on everyone's mind and let's get to the burning question.
For a competitive college application, what is more important regarding extracurriculars? A. The sheer number of clubs and activities a student is in. B. The student's depth of involvement and leadership in a few key activities. C. Joining the most prestigious clubs, regardless of interest. D. Having a balanced mix of arts, sports, and academics. Did you have some time to think about it?
Is B. The student's depth of involvement and leadership in a few key activities. Why is that important? Let's talk about each one real quick. The sheer number of clubs and activities the student's in. Do you remember a TikTok video last year? There's one guy who had like 20 chords and 20. He was like, I was the president of this and this and this and this and this. You don't remember the video?
I've never seen that one.
I don't know how. I didn't bother looking at it because there's almost no way that could be real. It's got, he has all these clubs and all these chords and all these streamers and all this stuff that he was part of in college, which is great. If it's true, amazing that he could do that.
College? Oh, okay.
Yeah, in college.
Okay.
But I was like, why? Why would he do so much? In college, you're supposed to be getting out and going to get a job. People get into clubs in high school so they can socialize and learn how to do things and get a better competitive application to go to college. Why do that in college? Well, because some people do things like Danica, student body government president, right? Jessie, she's in the folklorico. Okay, great. I love that. That's hobbies, right? It's not your whole life clubs. But, and I know some people in high school when you were in school, they were in all the clubs, right? Student council, right? Then you probably had like one of the language clubs, like French club, right? You had, not you, but I'm saying general.
Yeah.
Sports, they were managers or they played sports. There's some people that play all year round sports. If you're a college coach, what are you going to look at? If they played only football or they played all sports?
All sports.
Right.
But I mean, if you're a scout or a coach for a specific sport, then you would look at that.
Okay. You tried wrestling for a while. Okay. Why'd you get into wrestling?
To tackle better for football.
Why are you smiling?
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep talking.
That's the thing. Wrestling and football actually go hand in hand. So on the off season of football, you do wrestling to stay in shape, for one. Two, learn skills so you can tackle and take down people easier. What if you played volleyball or baseball? Does that have anything to do with anything?
Volleyball.
I'm just throwing out sports.
With stamina and ability,
right?
Or mobility, whatever. And then baseball would be baseball. I don't know.
Okay.
That one I have no
Well,
idea.
it's all part of it. You stay in shape, you stay active. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you have to ask yourself, what is something I want to do for sports? All right. You want to look for an answer. We have someone in the chat here on YouTube asking, okay, how do I know what a few extracurricular activities are? That's a good question. What are too many? What are too little? You know, it's like that's the whole point there.
There's no such thing as too many or too little.
Exactly. Now, it's funny because one thing, Connor was in football and he was wrestling and he was in tech program, and senior year he was managing, you know. I know you don't like to brag, but there's one thing you did not do that I asked you to do.
And that is?
You can remember? Golf.
No, the coach, I hated that coach.
Okay, that's not the point.
Oh my God. I did not want to. Even then, golf is not my thing. It's too patient for me.
But you get to tear at that ball and hit it.
No.
No? You only get to do that 18 times, right? At the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Top Golf.
Or Top Golf, yeah.
Have you ever tried hitting it really hard at putt-putt?
No.
The ball bounces all over the place.
Oh God.
But why did I ask you to think about golf? Do you remember?
When I retire, I could be already knowing how to play golf.
Well, you know, okay, I'm going to give you that. That's not why, though. A lot of business gets done on the golf course. So if you know how to golf, you go out and you do a round of golf, and it takes 30 minutes. Right? A whole round takes, 3 hours. It doesn't take 30 minutes. It takes 3 hours. Those 3 hours, you're out there with the person you're trying to do business with. So that's something you want to think about, right? You know, you're trying to figure out what you can do. All right? What you can do. And those 3 hours, it's like a meeting. It's a 3-hour long meeting. You know, so it's one of the things you want to consider. If you do get into business, you guys, learn to play golf. Right? Let's look at C here. Joining the most prestigious clubs regardless of interest. I myself am I sponsor the National Honor Society and the Broadcast Club over at my school. The National Honor Society is one of those for kids who do really good. And you would think that all the top students are in it. Right now I have 2 of the top 10, maybe 3. It's like, why aren't they part of it? You know, well, it's just, to them, it's just another club. It doesn't do anything for them. But I will tell you what I do as a sponsor, what I expect them to do. I tell them, you do community service, you serve the community, right? You become a leader, you have leadership. You do good in school, you have scholarship. These are the 4 pillars of NHS, right? So it's not about I'm in a club and it's just a piece of paper. I say, oh, I'm in the club, or I'm the president of the club, or whatever. You have to do things for the community, for yourself, for your peers, for your school. It's a lot more than just being in a club. Okay. So if you're going to sign up just to sign up for the prestigious clubs, you want to make sure you get a club that you're going to do something in. Okay. And of course, you want to have a balanced mix of arts, sports, academics. That's not true either. Okay. Why is it not true? Because you know what, Connor, you played football. You weren't going to do any fine art stuff, right? You said, I'm not doing any fine art stuff. I'm not going to do piano or nothing like that, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You don't have to do all the activities. So that's not what it is. So the answer that they said is the student's depth of involvement and leadership in a few key activities, while balanced mix is good. Colleges value depth and commitment over a long, superficial list. Keyword. Commitment and depth. If you're a freshman, start volunteering and start documenting all your hours. Okay. Connor did so much volunteering and we just never got them counted, right? But how many hours do you think you did in your whole high school career?
I can't even count. I don't remember.
In your senior year, you did 258. We know that. So doing all the stuff you did for like raise up the bar, going in the summer, helping out, all that stuff, that's close to maybe 400 or 500 hours. You know, someone sees that you did 500 hours on your college application, you're like, wow, that's really cool. That's something. Where'd you do those hours at school? What'd you do? Oh, I helped with the sports program. I did that, okay, but you did it for how long?
4 years.
Mm-mm. You're not counting your time at Ross.
Oh, so then 6.
Okay.
Because I started 7th grade.
And when I do my events, are you there helping me?
Yeah, and your events are
when we do health fairs, stuff like that, education fairs, job fairs. The ones where I go host a booth.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but you're there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you had a really good volunteering resume. Sports, you did some sports. You didn't do a lot. You did some. That's all that matters. You did some. You did a tech program. You got good grades. That's what we're talking about when we talk about extracurriculars and activities. How much are you involved and what are you doing? Hot Pro, like I said, you asked. It's not that you have too little or too many. Do you have a good mix of what you're doing? All right. Are you committed to them? Or are you just doing stuff just to do them? For example, you just do your NHS is required to do 10 hours a semester. If all you do is 10, you're not doing anything but the minimum. Okay, you're not showing commitment to it or anything. So when you think about, when you think about all this, understand that there's a lot going on, more than what you know. And we're going to get to that in a little bit here as we talk about today's hot take.
Today's hot take. So what's the main event for today? The hot take we're diving into is this. Your grades and test scores tell colleges how good of a student you are, but your extracurriculars tell them who you are. They are not an afterthought. They are a core part of your story.
That's right. Your grades tell colleges how good of a student you are. And it tells them who you are. They're not just an afterthought, okay? They're part of the story. Okay? They're part of the story. You gotta remember that. Okay. So grades and test scores, there's some people that it comes to naturally, right? There's some people that just get good grades all the time. Okay. And it's one of those things that comes naturally to some people. They just do it. Others take a lot of work to do it. You're asking me something. Am I missing something?
The screen, but yeah, that's it.
Oh, thank you. You kept going like this, I'm like, what? Anyway, so we're back there. Sorry about that. Yeah, you want to be able to discuss this with your parents, with your friends, with the colleges. Find out what makes you who you are. That's so important. Who are you as a person? I'm a straight A student. I'm ranked number 1 in the class. What do you do? If you're not going to go to Harvard or one of these elite colleges, the Ivy Leagues, does it really matter where you rank? It does, because if you want to get into those colleges, you have to be ranked at a certain point. You also get a lot more money being that high ranked. You weren't top of this class. You're going to college at a really good college. You were able to get financial aid. So did you need to be a straight A student to get where you are? No, right? You did not need to be a straight A student. So grades are important. Yes. I'm not saying they're not. But you want to make sure it's more than grades. Okay. You were involved in activities. I was involved in 20 activities. Okay. Yeah. You didn't have a life. Okay. I forgot to throw it in there. You were working while you were in school and doing sports and all, that's not easy. That stuff's not easy. Okay. I want to know, can you handle life as if you're applying to my college? If you're going to apply and you leave here, are you going to be a productive member of society? Are you going to be someone who I'm going to be happy to say is from my college? Right? That's what it's about when you're applying to colleges. Anyone can study for the SAT, ACT, all right, anybody, and get good grades. Okay. I had horrible grades on the SAT. I'm not even gonna. They're so bad. I think like it was 800. You get that for signing your name. I think, right? Minimum score is 800. So
yeah, wow.
No, I had like a 940 or something. I was an alcoholic in high school, dude. Like, but when I went for my graduate program, oh no, let me back up. In my day, we had to take this thing called the TAS, Texas Assessment Skills Programmers. I forgot what the TAS stood for, but you had to take that, get a certain score, and if you didn't get a certain score, you had to take the fundamentals classes. So I did so bad in English and math. Okay, I'm embarrassed to even say this now. I had to go into ESOL English because it is my second language. Okay, and I had to go into fundamentals of math. I went to the first class of fundamentals and I was like, okay, they're literally learning how to do addition and subtraction. I'm like, I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. What's my problem with math? You throw letters into the mix, it just screws me up. Okay. By the way, I've gotten better at it. But yeah, so when you look at this and you say, okay, you didn't get a good test on the score on the test. You got to take these fundamental classes. As a college, they told me, you're not ready to take college level classes. And I'm like, okay, so what do I have to do? Well, you got to take the fundamentals class. You got to take these fundamentals of English classes. I said, look, for English, I'm going to take the test. And I took the AP test. I took the CLIP test, passed it, got my credits. Never had to take English in my life, right? But for the math class, I went in there, took the first class, went back to my counselor, said, look, I'm not that stupid. I'm not good at taking tests. I said, what are my options? She says, well, you cannot take it until you get a certain score on the test. So what could I do? I could study for that test and take it over and over and over again, right? But I asked the counselor, I said, is there another math class that I could take? Because I like math, right? And she says, well, there's statistics. Have you heard anything about statistics?
It's hard.
It's supposed to be hard, right?
Really hard, yeah.
Really hard. She says, if you take statistics, because it has no requirement, you can take it, and you pass it with an A, you can get into algebra. I'll approve you. All right, fine. I took it to statistics. I can't say that. Stay it for me.
Statistics.
There you go.
I can't even say it.
And what's it called? I passed it with an A. Took my algebra, and I got a B on algebra. I was happy with a B. I was very happy with a B. It's probably even a low B. I don't care. I got a B, and never had to take any more math after that until I got into the graduate record exam, the GRE, to get into master's program. Guess what?
What?
Didn't pass that one either. But I was a counselor in the Army, a behavioral science specialist. I had done counseling for 8 years, and when I went to go to this program, one of the teachers was like, well, an advisor. They don't call them counselors; they call them advisors. My advisor was like, you did horrible on the GRE. You're not ready for graduate school. I said, here we go again, right? And I said, what do you mean I'm not ready? Like, it's counseling. How hard is it? I've been doing it for 8 years. And he's like, what do you mean you've been doing it for 8 years? And I told him, I said, look, I have been doing this for my whole life as an adult. I know psychology. The only reason I can't be a counselor is because I got to get a master's degree. Just look at, I graduated with honors in my bachelor's program. Doesn't that say anything? No, you have to have this GRE, this stupid test, right? I went in and talked to this guy and I said, look, real simply, ask me anything about psychology. Anything you want. He talked to me for 2 hours. I would say about the first 10 minutes were to see if I knew anything. And the other hour and 45 minutes was probably just him enjoying talking to me about psychology. And I got into the program and got my master's degree. Actually, I think I got like 15 or 18 hours into a PhD if I want to go there. You know.
Oh wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
Your dad's smart. But yeah, it's just, test scores are important. Grades are important. But high school, I had no grades and I had no tests. Okay. Got into college because I was able to take a test. take a class and convince the counselor to give me algebra, and got me in. For my GRE, my graduate program, took the test, failed it, graduated with honors in my bachelor's program. You know how hard that is? Graduated cum laude in my bachelor's program, and they didn't want to take me in my graduate program.
Oh,
because I just, they looked at that stupid little test. So it's not always about your test, you guys. It's everything around it. Like when I went to the counselor, I said, look, let me do this. I convinced her to let me take the class. Okay, I had a fight to take the class. When you're applying to college and high school, you don't have that argument with the person. You have this application, this essay that you write. That's all they get to see, and your scores, grades and test scores. Now, let's pretend everyone gets the same grade on the SAT. Okay, everyone has straight A's. Push those out of the way. I'm going to look at this application, look at this essay. And what are you going to say in the essay that might stir me to want to read more? Do you remember what you wrote in your essay?
Which essay specifically? Because I wrote like 4
I know you wrote a whole
5.
bunch of them, but just think of one. What'd you write as one of the things you had to overcome as a kid?
What they had to overcome as a kid was to, honestly, I said time management for me as a kid.
Well,
and make a schedule.
Yeah, that is part of it. But there's one thing you've overcome. Your mom.
Oh.
Think about that.
Well, I didn't write that in my essays, but yeah.
You told me. Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Hold on.
Stop.
Hold on.
No.
That was a mistake. I was trying to mute to cough, and I hit the emotional damage part when I talked about his mom dying.
That's so bad timing. Oh my
god. Oh my god. You guys, we're gonna have to come back after the break. Hold on.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, all he wants is peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22 0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. He's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
The station, where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, we're back. I finally got my composure back. So for those of you who just missed, we were talking about Connor overcoming some stuff on his college application, and I had mentioned his mom died, and that was something he had overcome when he was 9 years old. We had overcome, you know. And it's one of those stories that you just, you know, it made us sad, right? So.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know I was going to do that, huh?
No.
I swear to God, I was trying to mute the mic, Connor, and when I hit emotional damage, that was just too perfect. How long was I laughing over the break? I was almost crying, right?
Yeah. The whole
break, you guys. It's crazy. It wasn't good. That was just too funny for me. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, sometimes writing your own personal stories, you don't want to be a sad story, a sob story, and be like, oh, you know, this happened and all this stuff that happened after it. It was like, you know, this happened and I overcame it and I did this, and, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, so that's important. So you have a story to tell, go tell that story. We're just talking about some of the different terms we need to cover. We're going to do that in laying down the coals.
Today we will review key terms in laying down the coals. Extracurricular activities, any non-academic pursuits, including sports, clubs, jobs, and volunteering. Demonstrated interest, a student's sustained commitment to a particular activity or field. Colleges look for depth of involvement, not just a long list of activities. Leadership, taking initiative, guiding others, or creating impact within an activity. This is a key signal of maturity and potential.
So 3 things. Extracurricular activities, we've been talking about the non-academic pursuits. The non-academic pursuits is so important. Okay. It is so important to do that. So be aware of that and keep that in mind. Okay. When we're talking about extracurricular, is extra from the curriculum, which is the academic stuff. Demonstrated interest. A student's sustained commitment to a particular activity or field. It's one thing to just do it once in a while, but can you say, I've done this for 8 years, 10 years? it's that stick-to-itiveness. One thing that's interesting about college degrees that people say, why get a college degree? Is it shows people, because the bare minimum is high school, right? I went to college for 4 years, or a doctor 12 years. You know, that shows you have some commitment. So that's what's important, okay?
Okay.
So yeah, you want to think about that, okay? Also, when you look at leadership, you take initiative, guiding others, creating impact. You know, I'll ask you, I didn't tell you this question ahead of time, okay? But I want you to think about it before you answer. Do you consider yourself a leader?
No.
You didn't even think about that.
It depends on what the activity we're doing is.
You know, there's a phrase, you cannot make a leader. Leaders are born. What do you think about that statement?
No, not at all. Anybody could be a leader, but you have to like prove yourself.
You think anyone can be a leader? Anyone? I disagree.
Name one.
There's a lot of people that I think shouldn't be up in positions of leadership. I'm not going to mention any names.
Well.
Okay, but there's a lot of people that don't deserve to be there. Okay. When you're me, I was talking about me. When I was a kid, you know, a lot of times I would do things and I would say, I want to do this, you know, and it's not because I was a leader, but I can make decisions. You say I'm a Libra, right? No, you say you're a Libra.
I'm a Libra.
Yeah, you say I'm a Libra, and I don't make decisions, right? You know what comes next, right?
Oh God, stop.
Is it 6 or is it 7? No, I'm kidding. As a Libra, right? The scale, you're like, I can't make decisions. You've told me that several times, right?
Yeah.
Your mom was the same way. And one thing I would do, and you can laugh about this, but I would take her. I'd say, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I'm like, well, I'm asking you because you're the picky eater. And she's like, well, I'll eat anything. So then I would take her to fish places. And she's like, you know, I don't like fish. I'm like, well, then you don't want to eat anything. But I would take her to places that had chicken Alfredo or something she could eat, you know? And the thing is, I've learned to ask this question. It's not, where do you want to go? Not, where do you want to go to eat? You know, what do I ask you? Think about it. Do you know what I ask?
I don't know.
What do you feel like eating?
Oh.
Last night I asked you, what do you feel like eating? And you said, Whataburger. And I said, okay. I was thinking of Panda. Is that, when we say that, that's not what we want to eat, right? But when we're at home, I'll ask, what do you feel like eating? And then we can make something. All right, we have someone in the comments here. Let me share this with you guys so you guys can see this. Katrina Pepito. Good day. I'm from the Philippines. It's my first time watching this, and I'm currently a college student. For being a college student, I should be practiced in terms of joining and choosing extracurricular activities. Like right now, I'm a college student. My course is culinary arts or HM. What is HM? I'm trying to think. What is HM?
Never
health management. I don't know. What is HM? Pepito. Katrina, what is your? I can't think of what HM is. But joining extracurricular activities helps me
step on my boundaries.
Helps me to step on your boundaries. Okay. So you want to step out of your box, right? What you're saying? Is that what she's saying? Like jump out of it? Hospitality management. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, culinary arts and hospitality management, very interesting fields. You took some culinary arts, right?
Yeah, just a little bit, like 1 year. That's it.
Did you want to learn how to do this? You know, let me see here. Hold on. Let's try something. We haven't tried this yet. And I'm going to try it for the first time. So let's see if we can get this to work. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, we could try.
Let's see.
We've had multiple like failed attempts. But We could try.
We have had failed. We've been trying to work on this. I think we got it now. And let's find out. Katrina, if you're interested, or anyone else, feel free to call in. I put the number in the chat there. It's 720-619-0627. 720-619-0627. If you do call in, we'd ask you to please watch your language. Although I don't think that's going to be an issue talking about college, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, if she can call in, and we'd be happy to help you out here and talk about it. But yeah, hospitality management and culinary arts is really good, okay? To get out of your comfort zone is very important. Understanding that you go out there and you do things, extra stuff. It's, in college, it's not so much about your application for what you're going to do next. It's socializing, making friends, understanding what's required of you, and expanding your knowledge, exposed to things that you normally would not do. You know, you've been on campus. Have you seen any extracurricular activities or clubs you could join? Have they had any kind of events?
Like fraternities, yeah.
Okay. Have you thought about any of that?
No.
No, why not?
I don't see myself in a fraternity.
You don't see yourself in a fraternity?
I've heard bad things also.
Like what?
To not join at UTEP or something because of history.
You mean hazing? Like the stuff they make you guys do? All the bad stuff?
No, I don't know. It's just my friends are like juniors from like when people graduate, then yeah.
You know, fraternities, yeah, some of the stuff gets silly and everything, but it's not about the silly stuff. It's making those friendships that will last a lifetime.
But is it worth it though?
Is it worth it? I don't know. Is it? I think it is.
That's what I'm asking. Because you want me to join a fraternity.
I said, do something with yourself. Do something with yourself so that you can.
But in your own words, you should join a fraternity.
Yeah, do something. Join a fraternity. Okay, what else have I told you to do? And you're like, I'm not going to do that.
Eat seafood.
No, I'm talking about extracurriculars at school.
Do fine arts.
No.
You've told me to do fine arts.
Well, I said you have a knack for piano. You should do fine arts. Okay. But I've told you, why don't you become a male cheerleader?
Oh, yeah. No. I'd rather do film or be a football player than cheer.
Okay.
Cheer's not my thing.
Do me a favor, type in +1. You got to type in +1 to contact us, I believe. If not, you can do a search, say, how do I call a US number, and see what you can do there. Okay, but yeah, you got +1 before the number. But yeah, so do extracurriculars. Become a male cheerleader. I told you to do that. You're like, I'm not going to do that, right?
Why would it be a cheerleader?
So you can go to all the games and have fun and cheer on the team. And no,
that's not my thing. No.
I love your face. I love your face. You know, yeah, so that's not who you are. Okay, but let's pretend they make a club on anime. I know you don't do anime anymore like you used to, but if there's an anime club, I'm sure there's an anime club on UTEP. Why not join that?
Why would I? I don't know anime.
No, I'm saying, okay, I'm just giving examples.
But you're telling me, why would I join it? I'm saying I wouldn't because I don't watch anime. I'm answering your own question, Sean.
So then what kind of sport would you want to join? Or what kind of club, extracurricular, would you be interested in college?
None that could come to mind right now.
All right, so I was giving an example of like anime. You're not into it like you used to, but if you were to join anime, what would you get out of that? It was a what if.
I don't know.
Camaraderie, friendship, right? Share stories, have someone to watch anime with. You know, what about board games or Magic? I can't think of what it was called. Magic the Gathering. Okay. Pokemon cards. You know, what else is there? There's also gamer cafes, right? Why are you laughing? I don't know. There's gamer cafes out there. You can go out and you can play Xbox and you can play Borderlands and Call of Duty and Halo, right? So there's all these clubs you can participate in. I think at the student union they even have those downstairs you can play, right?
In the UGLC actually. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Upstairs.
They have some in the student union too on the bottom.
I've never seen those.
Then, oh, wait a minute. I think that's community college. My bad. And but yeah, so it's one of those things that there's so many things to do in college that it's not for an application. It's for you to learn to be social. It's for you to make friends. It's for you to learn something new or expand your knowledge outside of the curriculum that you have. And going back to the leadership, you may not think you have leadership, decision making, and all that, right? But in the right moment, you've taken charge. I've been there when you've done it. And the example I use is when I was doing announcing at the football games. You ran the press box. You directed everybody. You told everybody what to do. Right?
No.
Yeah. If there was a problem, you came up there, you fixed it, like the audio or whatever.
Well, I mean,
that's running the press box.
No, running the press box, like you said, telling everyone to do. That's like telling everyone what to do.
You did.
I didn't.
Well, I see it differently.
You just said I fixed the audio. That's it.
But you also were able to come in from the field and say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to whatever, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's managing the press box. See, but you don't see that as leadership.
No.
Yeah, see, I do. But I'll tell you what, nothing shows the importance of extracurricular activities other than a real life example. So let's hear our story from the fire today. Sorry about that, technical difficulties again. Let me just show this here. A story from the fires. Maya joins clubs as a freshman, and by springtime she's done. She's not going to be part of it. But her friend Jordan sticks with one debate, becomes a team captain, and it shows commitment and leadership. And what it shows from Maya, she did this activity, but she was it shows that she wasn't committed to anything. Lack of focus. So important. Okay. Because you don't realize that sometimes when you start something, you don't finish it. That shows lack of focus. Like Connor, if they ask you, how come you didn't work, you weren't in football your senior year? You focus on academics.
Well, not academics, but I had a job.
Well, that's the other thing too. Yeah.
I had to choose either stay in sports or do a full-time job with health insurance and getting some decent money for my first job.
Decent money and you had benefits.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Yeah.
I think right now I'm paying almost $200 a month for insurance. It's crazy.
Even though I don't need it, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to emergency room,
I won't cut myself on metal this time.
Okay. All right. He had an accident at work and he cut his. Where'd you cut yourself?
On top of my knuckle.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, hold on.
Hold on. You don't have to show it to everybody. Just right. But it was up here in your hand, somewhere, right? Or over here.
Okay. So, backstory. During a football game, we lost, and it was because of our team not communicating well. So then I was mad, and I might have punched like the tile walls. I don't know what they would be called. And I pushed my knuckle back a couple like an inch or so from where it's supposed to be. And then later on at work, I cut myself directly above my knuckle, and you can see the bone sticking out because of how deep the cut was.
And all they did was give you how many stitches?
6, 7.
6, 7?
I'm joking. Yeah, no, I think like 5.
You got me with that one. About 5.
It wasn't that much.
It was like 3 to 5. I don't remember. It wasn't much.
It was one continuous one, I think, because it just like.
Well, no, they do individuals.
No, yeah.
Anyway, how much was your bill for that? Going into the clinic, getting stitches and getting out. No x-rays, no anesthesia, no nothing other than going in, getting stitches and leaving.
I got anesthesia.
On local?
Yeah,
you got local.
They put in, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
there was no surgery or nothing, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they just like numbed my
Yeah, they
hand.
numbed up your hand a little. Okay, they
Like 1,000, 5,000.
Add two together, 6,600.
Yeah.
Okay, workman's comp covered it. Thank God, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Katrina is over here saying stuff. Let me jump over here. I guess she wouldn't be able to call us, but she's participating in the chat, which I do appreciate.
She says she can.
I said I know. I said she can't talk, but she's chatting here with us.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. What is she saying, Connor?
From what I'm reading, she's saying that
your group mates are hard if they don't do their part. You know, as a teacher, I do not do group projects. I think they're stupid, personally, because like Katrina says, you don't have people that do their part. All right. With me, I don't mind getting in front of people and talking. But I was also that sounding board. So there was people who we would ask questions, they would write the document, and I would get up and present it because everyone hates presenting. So sometimes when you can be the one to present, you've done your part in the group, you know. But when your coworkers are, your group members are not doing their part, Katrina, that makes it really difficult. Okay. And that's when leadership kicks in. You know, you have to step in and you have to know different personalities so that you can get people to do things a certain way. Okay, because that makes it hard when you don't have that, you know. And you're right, Katrina, you're making some really good points. We got to find a way to have us get in touch. I would love to have you on the show and talk about some of this stuff. Let's see. You're balancing the academics and joining extracurricular, but it's nice to hear advices and ideas. Thank you. I appreciate the comments. You know, I really do. But yeah, it's one of those things where you go in and you see this, and you know, you're in college and you have people that are doing their part, and you have to learn how to manage all of that. That's life. When you go to work, you're not going to get along with everybody. Okay. I can tell you there's people that I've worked with in my past that just didn't get it. Whatever the job was, they just didn't get it, you know. And no matter how much you sat there and tried to teach them, they just never, ever were going to succeed. You know that. And, you know, as a boss, you have to learn how to manage all of that stuff. And then as a boss, on the opposite side, you have those people that are overachievers, right? They're the ones always trying to do everything. And you're like, hey, slow down. You don't need to do everything. Let other people do it, right? So that's all part of it.
But it's good that you're doing a lot of stuff in your life, Katrina, trying to make your family proud. Well, that's good. That's really
read what she wrote, because people can, you know, they can see it in the chat, but they may not be in YouTube.
Okay. So Katrina's just said that she's joining a lot of things in college so that she could face them in the real world and she could be ready to be like a full-on grown adult, and she wants to make her family proud, which I would hope they were proud of you. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. You're smart. You're doing extracurricular stuff. You have an officer role. I'm proud of you.
We are proud of you, Katrina. I gotta tell you, we are proud of you. But one thing I'm gonna tell you, okay, this is me being me. Okay, this is where Hot Takes theme comes from. Okay, because when something comes up just off the top of my head, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I don't care what your family thinks. Okay, if you live with them and they're supporting you, that's a different story. Okay, but don't do things for other people. Do them for you. Okay. I've told Connor, I forced him to do a lot of stuff. I get that, okay? But at some point I said, it's on you now. Do what you want. And, you know, he's done it. But don't do things for other people, because your happiness is not dependent on other people. You can be happy no matter what. One of my favorite things is, you know, we've had a lot, after, like we said, after your mom died, right?
Emotional damage.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened, right? But one of the things that got me with emotional damage one time was one girl tells me, I can't date someone with such low self-esteem. And I looked at her, I'm like,
Oh, well.
You're on crack if you think I have low self-esteem. I'm in a bad situation and my life sucks right now. And I'm going to, fine, kicked her to the curb, and look where I'm at now, you know?
Okay, you
I
didn't
don't
kick
need
her
her.
to the curb. You guys just broke up. That's it. You didn't. No.
You want to go there?
No.
Okay, then.
No.
Don't bring up, let me be me, okay? You do you, boo. All right?
Okay.
But, you know, I was like, I don't need that negativity in my life. And people who are negative, I get them out of my life. Connor can tell you, when someone has done something negative, I cut them out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be one time. It
Oh,
could
no,
be
no,
occurring.
no, it depends how big it is the one time. But if they're doing something constantly and I finally get tired of them, they're out. They're out. Right? And do I go back? No. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else is Katrina talking about here? Welcome to the Katrina Show, everybody.
Shut
up.
She
Let me
just
see.
saying that she's the youngest and she's had a lot of pressure, so she appreciates like us.
Well, you know, and yeah. You being the youngest, I mean, people, I understand you're trying to make your family happy because you live with them and everything, but as an adult, worry about yourself. You know, one of the people that I talk about is my niece Jessie. Jessie wanted to leave town, go to college. She didn't have a lot of support to do that. People were like, "No, you're not ready to do that or anything." She's like, "I want to do it because I want to do it. I know I can do it." And guess what? She's doing it. She's done it. She's gone. Right? You know, props to her. You know, don't let other people choose your happiness, you guys. That's such an important tip here. You know, just
But you do stuff sometimes to like you choose stuff to have like make other people happy. Like Jessie, she's the youngest, okay? I don't know if Katrina could relate to this, but her older sisters or siblings, they all did some good stuff. She's in welding. She's in business now as a new major. Danica's student government. She did dance. What else did she do?
Yeah, she had two older siblings that were overachievers.
Yeah, and then Jessie,
she was the captain of the folklorico. I mean, she did her own thing.
But she was on the cheer team, dance team, folklorico. She was in the band.
Extracurriculars, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
but she tried filling in like her shoes to make sure that she has. I don't know what to say.
You think she tried to get
popularity? Not popularity.
The acceptance of her older sisters by doing something?
Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You know, me and my brothers, we're very competitive. And this is how we are. Okay. And I get all that. Believe me, I get all that. Older siblings and everything. We got to do all that. So one of those things that, I mean, we do things to make people happy, yes. But ultimately, it's going to be us that make ourselves happy. If you know, they say, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else, right? If you're broken, how are you going to help someone else? If you're not taking care of yourself, help someone else. And the perfect example I have of that is the oxygen on the airplane. What do they tell you if you have kids with you?
Put it on them first.
No.
Yes.
No. Put it on yourself first and then them.
I thought it was opposite.
Okay.
But that's what people would think.
You want to save the kid, right?
But I mean, what's the kid gonna do? Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're over here unconscious, and they're like, "Oh, they're alive," and they see it to see, right? You want to put the mask on yourself so you can help people.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself first. Okay. I know for a long time I've told you, my whole life was you, right? Do you remember the day that I came up with this podcast?
In July.
No.
Oh, in June.
June.
And
what was your last day of school? Do you remember?
June 10th. Oh, well, no, sorry. Hold on. June 6th?
7th. I think was his last day of school. And June 10th was your graduation.
June 10th was Tuesday.
All right. Yeah. So last day of school was Friday. That's the 6th, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
And
7, 8, 9.
Connor just graduated, accepted into college, ready to go. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life now? And I said, I'm going to start a podcast. I told Connor, you guys want to come along? You come along for the ride, you know? But, you know, I did it for me, right? And apparently Katrina's over here and she's learning something. So let's go back to what she says. What's her latest comment?
It's 119 in Philippines right now. And she says,
hold on, it's 119 degrees?
1:19 a.m.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
And she's saying that she thinks that there's a reason why she found our live, like a live stream, to help her out because she's been feeling lost lately.
That is awesome, Katrina. I'll tell you what. Right now,
it is late.
Okay.
Very late.
Well, it is, but you can find my stuff on YouTube where you see it right now. Go watch the other episodes. Go watch the clips and everything. You can email us. Okay. Go ahead and type in the email content. It's murphman@purehottakes.com. Email us and we'd be happy to like help you, give you some tips and stuff when you don't, you're staying up all night. Watch the replays and whatnot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the thing is, let me tell you a story about what I feel. Okay, you mentioned there's a reason you're up at 1:20 in the morning watching this show. There's a reason I came across your page or whatever. I do believe that things happen for a reason. For whatever happens. Like I said, Connor graduated on the 6th. On the 10th, he had his ceremony. On the 9th, I created the podcast. So sometimes the situation creates things. Okay. But now that I'm doing this, I'm helping somebody. Katrina's over here. It's one of those things that if I can help one person, that makes me happy. As a counselor, I can tell you I've helped people. And there's a few people I can tell you specifically I've helped over the years, It's one person at a time. That's what matters. That's how you build this, right? One person at a time. Okay. So, and Katrina, thank you for listening and watching. I appreciate that. Okay. We have a lot of stuff going on and we'll definitely be seeing more stuff here, but I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let's take a quick break and we'll come back and talk about the heat map, which is the guide and the steps you can take. All right, Katrina, we'll be back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
Complicates and shakes you, consumes all that makes you deep inside your bones. In a moment, choose the things you want and remember who you are and who you want to be. An anonymous dream came calling deep inside your soul. Let it came with love and splendor, everything
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
The heat map will show you where to focus your efforts for the most impact. Choose 2 to 3 activities you genuinely enjoy and go deep. This shows passion and commitment. Look for leadership opportunities or ways to make an impact. Did you create a new club? Organize a fundraiser? Track your involvement, hours, roles, and accomplishments so you can clearly articulate your impact on college applications.
That's right. Choose 2 or 3. You were asking Katrina, what do we recommend? Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but 2 or 3 is what we want to have, okay? That you genuinely enjoy and go deep. Commit to those 2 or 3 activities, and it shows the passion and commitment you have, okay? Look for leadership opportunities. Why is this important? Because I will tell you right now, I'm 56 years old. I have never been in a position of leadership. I've never been considered a manager in anywhere I've ever been. You're looking at me confused.
Didn't you say one time in the store, like in the army, you took leadership on something?
Oh, well, in the army, okay, that's a little, you have ranks, right?
Yeah.
And my rank was down here.
Okay, where's down here?
Oh, okay, there's ranks, say 1 to 9.
Okay.
And then E1 to 9, and then E01 to O10, okay?
Okay.
Officers enlisted. I was at 4, E4, specialist.
Okay, that's good rank.
And I was attached to a unit one time that they needed to learn how to do combat stress. That's what I was trained in. So I went over to assist them. And unfortunately, a soldier passed away on a training exercise. And they wanted us to go and talk to the unit. And there's this E6 who was higher ranking than me. And I was saying, okay, we need to do this, this, this. I was bossing him around. I was ordering him around, not really, but I was giving him directions. And someone else comes up to me, like, you don't talk like that to a superior NCO, blah, 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 blah. And the other guy is like, hey, chill out. This guy knows more about this than you do. And he's teaching me what to do. So shut up. It wasn't about disrespect, right? That's just, I may not have had the rank on my collar, but I had the respect for my job.
Yeah.
And the other one that I have to share this story because I love this story. We were in Somalia, and I was a driver for my psychiatrist, and we went and what? Oh, okay. We went and we had a soldier who was having hallucinations, and we went to go talk to him, and the psychiatrist was like, he's going to be sent back. He's psychotic. He's losing touch with reality, and he needs to leave. So as we're driving back, I told the doctor, I said, so what'd you do? Did you just take him off the medication? Because the mefloquine, the anti-malarial pill we take, sometimes can cause those hallucinations. And the psychiatrist, who's this lieutenant colonel, looks at me and goes, turn the car around. Okay, so I turn the car around and we go back, and he goes back into the tent, tells the medics, take him off the medication, call me back in 3 days. Gets back in the car and he goes, I think you just saved that soldier's life. Or career, not his life, his career. And I said, yeah, that's common knowledge, duh, right? But he was like, no, that's stuff that I should know. But I didn't, So sometimes you can have leadership without having the position of leadership. And that's sometimes what people do. I can tell you right now, every boss I have ever had has turned to me and asked me for advice on how to deal with a situation. I can 100% guarantee you that they've asked for my advice and they've used my advice. I just wasn't in a position of leadership, but I had leadership skills. I'm a leader. That's who I am. Okay. At the same time, I can be a follower. If someone else is in charge and they're doing a good job and they don't need my help, why should I jump in? Someone's already leading. There's a phrase that says, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Sometimes you got to be the Indian. You got to be there, be the soldier, and let the generals do their thing. All right. You can be the one people look to for advice. You can be the one people turn to know what's going on. understand something, ask for help, all of that. But you don't have to be in the position of leadership. So Katrina, when you think about being a leadership, understand that it's who you are as a person that will make you a better person and a better leader. All right. Let's see here. You have a question here. That's tricky. Food innovation, culinary arts, and volunteering to help the community. Very good. Yeah. Let me tell you, the food innovation, that's one of those, the gastric chefs, really interesting what stuff they're coming up with, the culinary arts and stuff. Let me ask, I don't know if Katrina's going to be able to type this out, but have you ever seen the TV show The Bear? I'm just wondering. It's on Hulu. Because I watched the first season and I was like, it's just too weird. I don't get it. But people who have worked in that field and have worked in restaurants have told me it's pretty accurate. I don't know what, if you guys know more than me, then yeah, go ahead. The other thing we want to talk about is track your involvement, your hours, your roles, accomplishments, so you can clearly articulate your impact on college applications. It's one thing to say, I volunteered in high school. It's another thing to say, since the 6th grade, I have accumulated 420 hours doing volunteer at school, helping with different activities and whatnot. I have worked 2.5 years at this job. I have been able to take so many extracurricular classes that are not part of the curriculum, but extra classes, like Connor took 5.5 credits, took the tech program. Yeah, so see, and Christina, like she's saying, she watches TV shows and stuff like that for inspiration. You never know where you're going to get the inspiration from. All right, I honestly, I told myself, once Connor graduated, I did not know what I was going to do with me. So I said, I want to create this podcast. And I did. I created the podcast, and I'm sharing my knowledge, and that's what I decided to do. But yeah, so it's those things that you as a person, it's more than what's on the application. You gotta come across, you gotta jump off that page, the people reading the applications. What is more than we can do? Okay. What's something you can show off that you can do? That's so important. Okay. It's so important because when you're showing off on an application, but you have to be quantitative. You have to be able to say, this is exactly how I did it. This is what I did. You can't just say, oh, I volunteered my hours. It's a lot more impactful if you can say I volunteered 420 hours or 2 hours, 2 years on the job, or whatever the case may be. Okay. So, it's important to understand all that. Okay. Track your involvement, your hours, your roles, all of that's really, really important. Okay. The more you do, the more you have to document. All right. The more you do, the more you document, the more you document, the more you have proof of what you've actually done. And that is just so important. It is very important to do that kind of stuff, you guys. Okay. And when we come back, we were talking about the heat map, but let's talk right now about the places you're going to get burned. Why? Because, you can sit there and you can say, I'm going to do this, but you may not succeed. You might have something come up. So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about where you'll get burned. These are some common pitfalls. Here are a few pitfalls to avoid.
Joining everything. This is known as resume stuffing. Colleges see right through it. Focus on quality over quantity. Doing it for college. This leads to burnout and a lack of genuine passion. Choose what energizes you, not what you think looks good. Ignoring informal activities, hobbies, family responsibilities, and part-time jobs count too. Don't feel limited to official school clubs.
All of that is so true. That is so true. Joining everything, it's the way the voiceover read it was resume stuffing. He meant resume stuffing. I didn't put the apostrophe on it, or the accent on it, I should say. Yeah, just because you're like on 20 different things, people are going to look at them and be like, this is stupid. It's quality over quantity, you guys. That's what they want to see. Quality things that matter to you and what you've done. Okay. One thing that I said, if I ever get rich and I have money, I'm going to start a foundation, and blah, 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 blah. I already know I'm going to, if I do that, that shows what I care about. Okay. You have these football players that create all these foundations and help people, right? And some of it's a tax purpose. You save money, you donate to charity and whatever the case may be. And you can do that. Now, one of the other things is, why are you doing things? Doing it for college? Don't do it for the college. I've heard so many kids say, I got to do this for my college application. And I'm saying, you know what? We need to take that back a little bit, roll that back a little bit. You want to be able to sit there and learn what is going to benefit you and what's not. And it's so important to sit there and look at the college you want to go to. What's important to them? If you were to look up UTEP, what are they known for?
Engineering.
UTEP's engineering, right?
Yeah.
If your plan was to go become an engineer, guess what? Get involved with engineer stuff, right? That's what matters. NHS, important. Is it one of those colleges that is highly selective? No. What's the selection rate? Do you remember? 100.
Oh, like acceptance rate?
Yeah.
100.
What did I say?
Selection rate.
Yeah. Acceptance rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That means if you apply, you're going to get in. Are you going to succeed at the end? Maybe not. But, it's one of those things. What did Katrina wrote something. What did she write here?
All of it are true, actually. That's what makes me confused now in my life or in my college. I should be more smarter and choose what's best for me and make my time more manageable, and that I should not forget my purpose. And she says, thank you for that.
Very good, Katrina. Yeah. That's the thing. Do it for yourself. What energizes you? What makes you look good? All right. So important. And ignoring informal activities such as hobbies, family responsibilities, and part-time jobs count too. All right. When you have a well-rounded person, okay, someone that does a lot of different things, you feel more comfortable about them. Like, I can sit here and tell you, I've taught college for 25 years. That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. I'm not gonna lie, that's a big deal. 25 years. Okay, I've been a part-time teacher, teaching psychology. Okay, what else have I done? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where you go, okay, well, I'm this, and you start bragging about all the things you've done. And why do you do it? Okay, my boss can tell you where I work at right now. I'm a huge advocate for students. I really want those kids to have the best opportunity possible. Same thing for Connor, same thing for everybody I've worked with. What's the best opportunity you can have to help you get through certain things? And if you can do that, you'll succeed with no problem. All right. Be well-rounded, be aware of everything you can offer, and understand that you're more than just you.
Yeah.
You're more than just you. You are everything about you. Like Katrina's saying, she's, in her family, maybe you're taking care of a parent. All right. Put that in your application. Say, hey, I am the caregiver for my parent. They can't take care of themselves. I have a family of 5 kids and I've gone back to college for the first time after 20 years or whatever the case may be. Right. Connor, right now, one of the things that I was doing, I was telling you the story about my certification. When I was trying to get certified to teach high school, right, there was a lot of opportunities for me, but the program I was in, I had to get certified in special education. And right now, the certification test that I took expired. And if I have to take it again, I don't know if I pass it or not. It's a hard test, but I don't have to do that anymore. I got my job and I'm good. But it's funny because I told him, I said, I had to take this because I wanted this, and then I had to do this because I wanted this, and I had to take this because I wanted this. And all of that didn't matter because I was special education certified. That's where I was going to be working. Because the thing about that is, as a SPED teacher, most of the time you have inclusive kids where you have to work with the kids in the classroom and teach all subjects. So that takes a special person. And what I mean by special, I mean like you have to really know everything. Does that make sense? Because you have to teach every subject.
Yeah.
So, well, now because of that experiences and my college experience and everything I've done, where I work at now, I actually have a job where I substitute. I cover for teachers. Right now I'm covering geometry. I've never even taken geometry. When I was in school, I needed 2 years of math. I took pre-algebra and algebra. Never got to geometry, never got to algebra 2, never got to calc, trig, nothing. And now I'm helping people in geometry. And what's funny about it is we're doing these things called proofs. And I can't define what a proof is. I'll tell you that right now. But I can understand all the different reasons that you can prove the statements. So you have a statement, you have a proof. And I'm learning it, And my other coworker, she's covering sign language right now. Usually I would cover sign language. The schools combined, there's been some changes and everything, but I don't know sign language.
I don't know sign language.
Right. I know Spanish. I cover Spanish in a heartbeat, cover French in a heartbeat. I can do that. Je parle français un peu. Je m'appelle Murphman. But what?
Oui.
You have to go to the bathroom? Dad joke.
Yeah, that is a dad joke.
All right.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you. So yeah, and the thing is, it's like when I lost my train of thought. The wee threw me off. Oh yeah, I cover all different stuff. I can cover one class in the morning, one in the afternoon, cover for all week, cover for all semester. Sometimes you have a teacher that gets ill and has to leave for like a couple of weeks, sometimes months, sometimes they can't come back. And, so you have to be flexible and you have to know all those things. So being a well-rounded person is what it's all about, you guys. Yeah, Connor can tell you, I'm a therapist. I was a counselor. I knew trauma. That was my job. I knew that like the back of my hand. And then after my wife passed away,
I wish I had
his
wife.
mom. Yeah. Not always, trust me on that one. Okay. But when I lost my job, I didn't want to do counseling anymore after I lost my wife. It was a really, really, really hard time for me. And, I lost everything because I couldn't do my job anymore. And I couldn't find a job because I was so centered on counseling that I did not have any other opportunities, and I had to branch out and do more. And since then I have done broadcasting, I've done sports announcing, I have done quizmaster, I have done MC hosting events. I've expanded and been better at what I'm doing, and now I have the podcast. Being well-rounded, and I don't mean being fat, Connor, okay? I mean, I saw you.
When you said that the first time,
I saw you.
I started laughing.
Hey, the doctor told me get in shape. Okay, last time I checked, round is a shape.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. But anyway, yeah, so be a well-rounded person, and you can overcome more things. If you just focus on one thing and do nothing else, you're not going to succeed in life as good as you could if you were well-rounded.
She says that's totally a well-rounded person.
Thank you. Yeah. Are you talking about my weight, or are you talking about my experiences? I'm kidding. But one of the things we do here also is we have a session called the Afterburn. It's about reflecting on what we've just covered. So let's go ahead and see what we have in the Afterburn today.
In today's Afterburn, here are some questions for you to reflect on.
What activities make me lose track of time, in a good way? Where have I made a difference? What story do my activities tell about me?
There you go. What activities have me lose track of time in a good way? All right. I'm going to tell you right now, any of my friends that know me can tell you, since I decided to do this podcast, I have been doing this since June 9th, almost on a daily basis, nonstop. Right?
Done what?
The podcast.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay. I've gotten to the point where this podcast is going to have its own content station on stream915.com. We're going to have that, and you're going to be able to see our premium content, which is not just the replays here that you have to pay for, right? We're going to actually be doing it live here on MBR, and we're going to be doing live streaming on YouTube. So if you miss the show, you have to pay for the premium subscription, but that also gets you the local El Paso stuff, because one of the things I've always wanted to do is El Paso content, and we have the Colores del Desierto, which is the colors of the desert. So I'm going to be doing events like the Borderland Roller Derby on Sunday or tomorrow, and a few other things that I'm doing because that's what I want to do. The podcast is something that's going to grow and it's going to get bigger. And trust me, it's going to be something I'm proud of. I've been told several times, you're doing too much. And I said, I'm preparing for what's coming. Right now, I could tell you, I could get sick, all right, and not do any more podcasts for a year and a half. And I have all my episodes written already. All the way to November 16th, I think, is the date I have.
Of next year.
Of next year. Yeah. Okay. A year and a half of material prepared. And on top of that, I'm doing this thing now with the Stream 915 where I'm going out and I'm doing events with them. I'm emceeing events. I'm hosting events. I'm live streaming. I'm doing all that. So on that channel, I'm going to have a lot more content, It's going to take a lot of my time, but it's something that I love. And like they say, if you can't do the job you love the job you do. Right.
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
You never heard of that?
No.
If you can't do the job you love, you can't do what you want, right? You're not at the position you're at right now where you want to be, right? Love what you're doing.
Oh, well, okay. That makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the analogy there. So it's one of those things that, what makes us lose time in a good way? Okay. I want you to succeed and I want you to focus on everything. Like I told Connor, when we're doing his schedule and we're looking at things he can take, I said, all your electives, I said, you can either take more engineering classes, more cybersecurity stuff, or you can take those electives that have nothing to do with nothing and just a break from your class. And Connor's like, we'll see what happens when we get there, but most likely you're not going to want to take those fine arts classes, right? All right.
No.
You're not going to want to do any
Not
of those
touching those at all whatsoever.
At community college, one of the PE classes, because you have to take PE, right, is karate. So you go take a semester of karate.
What the?
Yeah.
I want to do
Community
that.
college has a bunch of stuff for PE, you guys. Go check it out. You'll be able to see that they offer a lot of different things, and ask yourself, like, where have you made a difference? Where have you made a difference? When I ask myself, where have I made a difference? I can name a million different things I've done. I know I've made a difference in several different aspects of my life. Connor, do you think you've made a difference in anyone's life?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot, right? Like, can you think of an example?
Well, relationship wise, because there's drama with my friends, and sometimes they've been suicidal in the past year and a half, and I talked them out of it because this one girl really messed with him, and it hurt his feelings because he's a lover boy at heart. He's innocent, and just getting your heart broken like that is just, no one wants that. And
I get that. 100% I get that. But going back earlier, what I said is you can't have your happiness depend on someone else. When I divorced my first wife, that really hit me. I'm telling you right now, that really affected me.
I would think so, yeah.
But I didn't have anyone to fall back on. When I got divorced, all my friends were lost because we had friends that were together. So either they chose her, they chose me, or they chose neither. I didn't have any life outside of my marriage. It was just me. And going back to being a well-rounded person, when I got divorced, I had nothing. And I found a group of friends and I hang out with, and now that, I have more friends, but let's see, that happened in 2001, 2002. In 2004, my father was murdered. And I didn't mean to just drop that bomb on you, okay?
Emotional damage.
But yeah, my father was murdered, and my boss looked at me and she says, Sean, I cannot deal with you being depressed again. And I said, it's going to be different this time because I have friends. I have a network of support. It's so important that you do not put all your eggs in one basket. When they say that, they mean it. Be well-rounded. Do more than what you can do because you will be able to do more in life down the road. That's one reason I made you take all those stupid courses, just to get you away from different things and make different friends and everything. You're in college now. you told me, I'm not going to know anybody. Then you go to your chemistry class, and how many people are in that class?
Like 20 people from Burgess.
Well, I meant, but how many people in the classroom?
326.
Okay, so he knows about 20 people. That's one thing. That's one advantage of going to school in your hometown. You're going to know people, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that he wasn't going to meet anybody, that stress is gone, you know. But like when someone's suicidal, you guys, it's just one of those things that is really, really difficult. On the next break, I'm going to play a song again, Make 22-0 again. Veterans take their lives on an average 22 times a day. And that's too much, you know. But I don't have the statistics of what suicide rates are, okay? But I can tell you, one is too many, all right? Everyone thinks that they're alone, that there's no way out of the situation. They don't want to face the consequences of their actions sometimes. But most of the time, it's just someone who's destitute and doesn't know what they're doing. And having a plan is hard if you're depressed. But understand that you go out there and you have to live life for yourself. Don't let someone else dictate your life for you. Like this guy who had his heart broken, right? That's hard. That is very hard. You know, it happens, but you got to have friends. If your whole life is that one relationship, make friends. Okay. Do not have all your eggs in one basket. Okay. Connor and I were very close. I think we're very close.
I would hope so. I mean, we are father and son, but okay.
Well, I mean, like
heartbroken. Wow.
Okay. If you would have left to go to college to UNT or something, would you miss me?
Yeah. I'd be homesick. Yeah.
What would you miss most?
Not seeing you every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shit.
Watch language.
Sorry.
But yeah, you know, I appreciate that. And I would miss you. But I realistically, I know you're going to leave at some point. Right?
Yeah.
So guess what? I have things outside of you that I do that you have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
You need to find those things for yourself.
And I do.
And I told you, if I die, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Cha-ching.
Right? And I said, that money is going to help you so much better. Okay. But yeah, seriously though, you guys, suicide, all that, get help. I was a counselor for the longest time. I'm telling you, I've been on both sides of the aisle. Get help, or both sides of the desk, I should say. Get help, all right? Get the help you need, because you never know what's happened, okay? And last but not least is, what story do my activities tell about you? Think about that. Who are you? You know, there's people that tie their whole identity into one little thing. Like, I'm the Murph man. That's not who I am. That's just who I am here.
Your identity, I guess.
Yeah. That's one of them. Okay, not that I have multiple personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, everyone has different roles. I have my dad, I have my teacher, I have my friends, I have my body, you know, all of that it's being well-rounded, okay? So think about that as we move on to the next section, which is what we call our heat shields. This will help you avoid pitfalls when you need resources, you need help. All right.
And here are some helpful. If you want to dig deeper on your own, I've got you covered. Here are your heat shields. Use a simple activity tracker template on Google Sheets or Notion to keep everything organized. And look up guides for the Common App Activities list to see how to best describe your experiences.
That's right, you guys. You want to have a way to organize all your activities, because one thing you don't want to do is get overwhelmed. All right. Like Katrina over here, she's been talking about all the things she's doing, which is amazing. But you don't want to get overwhelmed. You want to keep yourself well balanced. That's so important. Okay, keeping yourself well balanced. Also, organized. I've told Connor, you need to organize yourself. You need to have a plan. You need to use a Google Calendar, whatever you're using to document all of your events and everything, right? And he tells me now, hey, what are we doing at this time? Because that's when I'm free. That's new. You would go to school and you'd come back and you're like, what are you gonna do? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But right now it was 10 o'clock before we got started, and you turn to me and you go, hey, what are we doing tonight? Because I want to go to the football game.
Yeah.
Wow, you planned something?
For
never
once.
thought, yeah, well, not just for once, but you've been doing it since you've been doing everything
Recently,
in college.
ever
Yeah.
since I turned 18, I've been doing more stuff
Yeah.
since you let me go out more.
Yeah, but I'm saying schedule wise,
Well,
you're planning
yeah.
ahead now. Before you would never plan, you would just wait till last minute.
Well, it's because, okay, to go more on that, I wouldn't make any time because I would focus on myself only. But now that I'm going with friends, I have to plan what they're doing in order to like make time for them to go. Because okay, after this, I'm gonna like shower, get ready. Then Paulina, my friend, she's gonna pick me up, and then we're gonna go pick up our other friend, Noelia, and then go to the game.
Okay.
And relax with other friends to chill out. So it's not just me I'm making a schedule for. I'm making a schedule for them also. Does that make sense?
Yeah, people depending on you.
Yeah. Well, and I am depending on them. So that's like, yes, I have a schedule for me, but at the same time, you gotta have a schedule for other people that you're gonna be with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because when people are planning stuff, it's so hard when you have a whole group of kids that are like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? What should we do? You know?
Yeah. That leadership that you're talking about earlier, that's technically what I would do. Because
sorry.
Language. Call me Steve Rogers. Yeah, I would take the leadership and tell everyone like what we're doing since no one has no idea. And yeah. Since I've been in El Paso my whole 18, almost 19 years, I know like traffic times. I know when things are open, when they close, what's the best time. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're learning your way around town now that you're driving, huh?
I've been driving a lot more than you now. I feel like I'm driving more than you did with Uber.
Oh, trust me, no. But I will tell you why you've been driving more. Because I'm doing this, preparing for all the stuff that's coming up. So I've just been at home like a little hermit doing nothing.
Wow.
You know, I went out the other day with a friend of mine. We went to go have some, we went to go do this, drink a soda, you know, just a little drink, just to get out of the house and do something, you know. And it's like, I haven't done that in, God, forever, you know. I was in like the Quizmaster stuff, and I'd go and I'd do that and come home. You know, I'm not doing that. I resigned doing that. You know, but I'm putting a lot of effort into what we're doing now, our premium content and everything that I'm going to be working on. You know, I haven't told you all that yet, exactly the plan. You know, but we're going to be moving studios. I have some surprise for the studios too.
Ooh.
Yeah, new equipment. I upgraded.
Okay.
Oh yeah, wait till you see the setup we got, Connor.
We'll see.
I'll put it to you this way. Starting October 23rd,
okay,
25th. By that point, we'll have everything set up, if not sooner. But we'll be able to have 4 guests with us to do a podcast if we choose to.
In that room?
I don't know if they're going to fit. We'll figure it out, right?
Why. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. No.
If it's like this table, maybe.
Well, yeah, you know.
But I don't know. We got to clear out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I told you we got things to do.
Yeah.
But we have the equipment to do that, you know. And it's one of those things that we're getting bigger and we're getting better, you know. And it's the hard work I've been putting in to make sure everything is getting done the way it needs to be done, okay? So that we can go and do something, you know. And yes, you've been driving because you have a life. You have a car you can drive now, and you have a little bit of money. So you're able to go out and do things now.
I have to see later on today about the situation.
You'll make people think there's a situationship. No, money wise. Yeah, I know what you mean, but
financial process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one I was talking about earlier when I said, you get a refund, don't spend it. What'd you do with it? Where'd you put it?
Savings.
You put it into savings immediately. He's like, I don't know where this money came from. I got to find out. Right. He found out. They said, hold off on it. You might have to pay it back. You might not have to. We're going to find out what's going on with financial aid and all this stuff. So once he finds out, then he'll know if he has the extra money or not for the scholarships and stuff, you know. But yeah, going out doing things. So I'm glad that you're doing that, you know, but I'm focusing on this.
Yeah.
And this has been fun. I'll tell you right now. It's been a lot of fun, you know. But yeah, it just so much is going on. I really have I'm looking forward to doing this. You know, right now we're gonna have an episode called The Final Burn, and that's not the end of the show. All right. I'm gonna talk a little more about more Paso local stuff right now coming up. But as far as the quote unquote educational part of it, I want to have people calling in. I want to have interviews with people. So if you're interested in doing that, come and check us out. Go to purehottakes.com. Email us at murphman@purehottakes.com. You can call us at 188-357-4494. You can do that, and we can answer that call off the show. Leave a message. You know, we're still trying to figure out how to connect stuff. That's why we got the new equipment. So hopefully that shouldn't have a problem to connect. If that works, great. We would have callers calling in all the time. You know, MBR provides us with a phone number, the one I gave out. You know, that one's available during our show as well. We'll have that on the website. The website's changing daily. It's gonna get upgraded. There's so many things happening right now. So I'll talk about that after we go to the final burn.
So, what's the final take from today's discussion? If you remember one thing, make it this. Colleges don't want a checklist. They want a change maker.
They don't want a checklist. They want a change maker. Think about that. You know, yeah, anyone can do all the stuff. Anyone can say, I've done all these different things. But they want something that's making a difference, that has done something with their life.
Yeah, something else other than the curriculum.
Exactly. You know, doing more than the minimum. It's so important. It is so important, you guys. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about El Paso stuff here, and some of the plans we have coming up. So we'll be right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.u.
There's a hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. Seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. They say it's all inside, heaven and hell. Well, that angel when you fell. Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, and we're back. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're trying to do, okay, you guys? With Stream 915, we're going to be streaming live here on MBR, and then we're going to go ahead and shift the replays to Stream 915. You'll still be able to see some of our short clips all over all our social medias. You can check it out on purehottakes.com. All right. But we're going to, the El Paso extras. Okay. El Paso is known as a sun city. And we're going to have sunspots all over El Paso. That's what I'm going to call it. So, like, I'm doing a sunspot at Bowland Roller Derby on Sunday. I'm doing a sunspot on the 2nd of November at the Fiesta de los Muertos Market on West Town Plaza on the 2nd of November. Things like that. Those are going to be called the sunspots. You know, when we're going over there, I'll be able to talk about that event. And I want to promote El Paso in ways that showcase the artists and follow the events we have with Stream 915. Now, one thing we are doing that's really interesting, I think, is we have a station here called stream915.com. That's going to be our content station that we're going to be doing some stuff on. But what's really interesting is we have a screen and share, which is something that we've been doing. Can you do me a favor? Go to stream915.com.
Yeah, let me put my mic down.
Or type it in the chat. So yeah, the thing is, we have this event coming up. I want to share this, so I want to make sure I get all the details with you. Well, details for you, not with you. Sorry. The event is going to be on October 24th at the Art Space here in El Paso. It's called DIY and a craft workshop. That's what it is. Sorry. DIYworkshopep.com. And we're going to have lawyers there. We're going to have content creators there. They're going to be filmmakers that are sharing their experience. It's a little event that we're doing here locally that we're trying to get everyone involved with. And we have 3 speakers that we're going to have that are going to be sharing their stories, sharing their films, and letting people know what's going on. We have The Dollhouse for Rent, which is one of the movies that we have there. We have Alan Borunda and Tony P going to be out there hosting the shows. We have a show called Choices, and Brian Rodriguez, who's a law attorney, is going to be there speaking as well. And I'm going to be an alternate. I'm going to have a table there, and we're going to be discussing the podcast and education and stuff like that. And what's interesting is when we do this, okay, there's the podcast there. Stream915.com. It's one of those things that it's taking off, and we're doing a lot of events, and I want you to be part of this. We're going to have our sections that, like I said, the El Paso Extra sunspots that we're going to be going around town and doing stuff. A few other things we're going to have is the student dispatch, where I'm going to try to showcase students from different high schools all around town if they want to come on, if they want to show what's going on. I'm also going to have live reports. So, for example, I might come on and have stories that are happening in El Paso that have relevance. And I'm not going to comment on it per se, but one of the things I'm referring to is, like, we recently had a situation here in El Paso where a student with autism escaped the classroom. He eloped, is what it's called. And he left the school and went and walked away. And unfortunately, he got hit by a car on the freeway. And it's really sad, that kind of stuff. I want to try to get more information and cover it for you guys, like a little bit of a reporter, if you will. But I want stories that are important here in El Paso. That's one. It's going to make national news. That story is going to be all over the place. This poor kid, he passed away, and it's unfortunate what happened. But yeah, so I want to talk about certain stories, and if I can get something special going, and you'll know what it is when I bring it up, that would be really cool. So that's going to be like some of those reports I'm going to be doing, and I hope you all enjoy it. You can follow us, here on Saturday mornings at 12 o'clock Eastern to 2 o'clock. We will be doing this broadcast live, like I said, on YouTube and MBR Radio. And we will also be replaying it on stream915.com. So you guys check us out. And Connor, anything else you want to add to the show before we get out of here?
Not that I know of. No,
okay.
I think that's it.
All right. You're excited for what's coming up? You got to learn how to run new equipment. Yeah, but we have a really cool studio. And we'll also have a behind-the-scenes studio of how it started and how it ended, and a process of how it's going. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned. Until next week, y'all have a good time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Your listenership truly means a lot to both of us. For the latest hot takes and much, much more, be sure to visit purehottakes.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media platforms as Hot Takes with the Murph Man to stay connected and join the conversation. My take is this show is over. Thanks for listening, and I'll have more for you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio.
As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.